This is a quick little tutorial on kind of the basics of how to get started with Tortoise SVN. Okay? Alright, so let's say that you want to do some code management. You want to do some change management around your code. So that's what Tortoise SVN is. Now I have Tortoise SVN already installed on the server, on our class remote desktop server. So again, what you'll do is you'll sign into 130.160.114.226. You'll click connect, connect. You want to use localhost / your Bama username, and then your password is your campus-wide ID plus pound ABC. Alright, you'll click yes here, and then once you get logged in here, you want to click on the start button of your remote desktop start button, and then go to computer and go to desktop and go to your folder, your profile folder. Another way to get there is to go to start and then click on your profile folder right here. Okay? So what you want to do just in the white space here is right click and say SVN checkout. Alright, now when you click SVN checkout, what it's going to do is it's going to pop up this menu, and you'll want to create a directory that's relevant to what you're doing. So this is just for testing purposes. We're going to make one called test. Okay. Alright, and the URL that you want to go to is HTTP, and it's going to be localhost. Actually, we can just do em-tal-testing.em.ua-net.ua.edu. Okay, and then the folder is, actually we got to put a colon in there, 9880. Alright, and then just for kicks, the folder, the practice folder that we're using is called test, T-E-S-T. So http em-tal-testing.em.ua-net.ua.edu :9880 test. Okay. Now, so this is where it's going to pull the stuff from. This is where it's going to stick it locally. So this is remote, this is local, and we're going to get everything from the server that we've got so far, and then we're going to get the head revision, which is the most recent revision. If we wanted to go to a previous version, we could click that and we could type in the version we wanted, but we're going to pull in the most recent version. Then click OK. It asks for a username and a password. I've provided you that in class, so you'll want to use that username and password. I'm using just the test user right now. Alright, so what it did was it went to our source version control repository. It found the test project and it downloaded the test project code to our profile in a folder called test. And notice it has a check next to it, which means that it is now a folder that's coordinating with the SVN repository. So if we double click in there, what we'll see is branches, tags, and trunk. Okay? Now you'll remember from the conversation about SVN, branches is variations of your code, tags is copies of major releases, and then trunk is your main project that you're working on. So let's double click in trunk, and you'll notice there's one sample little test file in there. Okay, so just to play around with SVN, let's right click on it And let's open this with Notepad. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add in a quick little uh, unordered list here. Actually, we're just going to close out the unordered list. I never did do this the other day when I was making this code. Alright, so we're going to close that out and we'll save it. We'll exit. And now you'll notice that when we come back to this file, it's got an exclamation on it. So it means it's out of sync. What I have here is out of sync with what's on the repository. So no problem. All I have to do is right click and then do an SVN commit. And before it'll let me commit, it makes me put in a message, and I'm just going to talk about what I did. So I'm just going to say added closing statement to unordered list. Okay, and then I'll click OK. It'll ask me to log in again, and here you'll put in the credentials I gave you in class. I'm just using a test account right now, and you can actually have it save authentication if you want to. I wouldn't recommend that. I'd prefer you to type it in each time. Click OK and commit finished. It's got the green here, and so we click OK, and it's got a green arrow here. So that's basically all there is to working with SVN. You'll notice it's simple. It's supposed to be simple. It's supposed to make version control simple. Just for kicks, let's do this right here. So we've got down here, we have this message, and so we're going to click OK to this. What I want to do now is just right click again, go to tortoise SVN, and I want to go to the repo browser. And it's not like a bad thing, not like the repo man. It's repository, not repossession. It is a repository. It is a good place to put things. I'll type in the authentication. And the thing about Tortoise SVN is that once you log in, it minimizes itself. So you have to actually click here. But let's just click here and see what we got. So we've got these extra folders, but there's nothing in them. So we're in the trunk, the main program here. So if we right click, we see that there's 6 revisions of this file. So if I click on it and then I right click, I should be able to look at the versions that go with it. But let's look at let's show log and see what happens. So we say test. Alright, and then what it does is it shows you all the revisions that have been done. And if you want to see those revisions, if you want to actually look at those revisions, you can. You just have to double click right here. Okay. If I want to compare 2 revisions, let's see, if I right click on it, I should be able to compare revisions. So let's click on that and see what happens. Alright, so what it does is it shows you the difference between revision 5 and revision 6. And what you can see very clearly is that in revision 6 I added in that unordered list tag. I closed it out. Okay? So that's just a little bit of fun stuff that you can do with Tortoise SVN. So I'm just going to exit out of all this stuff and log off, and I'm done.